Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today is a few days after the solstice. Whether this was for you the summer solstice, which it was for me, or whether it was winter solstice, we have just had a solstice. So we are going to talk about the sun. Well, no, we're not going to talk about the sun. We are going to talk about the sun. But basically, because it was the summer solstice where I am, we're going to do readings about things that are in a state of full becoming for you. We are going to be using the maple runes. These are the Elder Futhark on maple runes. And we're going to be using the Forgotten English deck for fun, because that's a fun deck to use. Haven't seen those before? Definitely look those up. They're a lot of fun, those readings, so we're going to have fun with that. Because there's no way that we can have the card up without spoilers, I have different things for you to pick from. So, feel into these pins. You're going to pick a pin. We have a seahorse. I pointed at this, I said seahorse because I'm crazy, but also because I love seahorses. We have a starfish. We have a giraffe. We have a cat. And we have an alligator. Random, I know, but they're all golden like the sun. So pick one of these. One of these will have a reading for you about something that is in your life that is in a state of full becoming and what you may need to know about it. So feel into the pins. I will put the timestamps in the description, and I will see you at the readings. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the starfish. So let's put the starfish over here, and then we're going to go to the Forgotten English deck, and we're going to find a word that is not really used much in English anymore. And then we're going to base the reading on that. So this is reading about something in your life that is in a state of full becoming, and things that you may need to know about it. So I'm shuffling the cards, I am cutting the deck, and we're going to take this card, which is Lava Rock. Okay, or Lave Rock, maybe? Let's see what it is. Shortened Anglo-Saxon name for that often unwelcome herald of the dawn, the lark. During the Middle Ages, groups of adolescent boys and girls would go into the fields to catch larks, which were considered a culinary delicacy. By the 1700s, influenced by Middle English lake, play, and lark came to mean a frolicsome adventure involving whimsical gallops on horseback, mischievous merriment, and sexual flights of fancy. So, whatever it is that you have brought to completion has been a lark for you. This has basically been something that is fun and a laugh and just basically very playful. Something that is something that has been more play than work for you. It's been a lark to do. So that's sort of what you've brought to completion, is just something that was a lark, something that is in a state of full becoming. So what do we need to know about this? Let's get the runes and see what they have to add about this lark that you have had. Now, given that people used to also eat lark, and it was considered a delicacy, there's probably also a nourishing component to this. And it also has the thing about the unwelcome herald of the dawn. So there's something about this may be something that has perhaps, since you seized it, it's one of those things where it was something that maybe was sort of annoying you, and then you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do this. And then you did it, and it was something that not only was fun and was a lark, but it also nourished you. So it doesn't bother you. And it's one of those things, like if you're sitting there going, you know, I'm just going to do this because otherwise it's going to bother me. So that I will be like, I just got to do it. So you do it, you did it, it was fun, you did it, it's in its state of full becoming. So let's see what the runes have to add. So our central issue here is Gabo. Gabo is the rune of the gift. It also has to do with the exchange and also one-on-one relationships. So given the meanings that it was described with, the frolicsome adventures involving whimsical gallops on horseback, mischievous merriment, and sexual flights of fancy, the one-on-one relationship might actually have come into it for some of you. This may be something that is in a state of full completion, but that had to do with that kind of merriment as well. However, whether it was or not, this is something that you basically set aside to do. Gabo is often agreements, decisions, plans, and goals. It's always an exchange. So it's something that there was an interchange going on, but it was like So, oh my gosh, somebody riding a motorcycle or something. Anyway, could be that. No, this is outside. People being loud. Either way, this is something that you actually said, no, you know what, I'm going to make the time for this. I'm going to set aside some time and we're going to have this lark, this lave rock or lava rock, and just have fun with that. And leading up to this, it was something that sort of presented itself to you. It was something that was a surprise, but it was a surprise that was always there. We have Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box. You know, you cast your lots, and it's basically surprises and fate. And it was the sort of thing that it's like you woke up one morning and the lark was there heralding the dawn, whatever the lark was for you. And it was like, you know what, this has always been there. Let me just do this. And then you went ahead and did it. You said, I'm going to do it. And you did it. And it is in now a state of full becoming. What is going to help you with this is we have Tivaz. So Tivaz is the rune of Tyr. It's Tyr's the warrior god. This has to do with, again, it's driving forward, but it's also, I say again, I didn't say it yet today, but the thing about Tyr is he also has to do with tending to duties and responsibilities, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So there is an element of you're able to enjoy this lark that you're having, and you were able to bring it to full becoming because one of the things that keeps it doable is that you are working on taking care of the things that need to be taken care of at the same time. So you know, you aren't just abandoning all of your responsibilities. You are making sure you're staying on top of those. So, you know, the dishes are done, the laundry is done, you know, the kitchen is swept, things are being taken care of. You're getting enough sleep, you're getting enough food, you're getting enough water, rest, etc. So continue to do that, because that's going to continue to allow you to keep doing this, even though it has gone into a state of full becoming. You're still going to be able to do it, but you have to make sure you keep taking care of the things that need to be taken care of around you. What isn't going to help is we have Laguz, which is the rune of water. It has to do with all the watery stuff, so emotion, intuition, heart, and also flow. So there is a temptation to not take care of the things that need to be taken care of, to just fully abandon yourself to this lark that you're having. And you know that's not going to help you, because even though it would be great, you know, really fun, just frolic and have fun, you still need to keep taking care of things so that you can live and be comfortable and be safe in order to carry on with this lark that you're having. So you might be tempted to just abandon all and just like go on with, you know, the emotional laugh of it, but this is going to drag you down. It's going to basically, you're going to be short on resources in order to handle that. So definitely, you know, it is going to be a temptation, but bring yourself back up. There's a fly flying around me. Definitely bring yourself back up to what is helping you, which is making sure that you are continuing to take care of the things around you. And this will also keep you energized as you move forward doing this thing that is so much fun. What this is all going to lead you to is we have Ivaz, which is the rune of, it's the yew tree, so it's patience and slow growth and slow development, step-by-step stuff. It's also sort of moving between worlds. It's the yew tree, so oh my gosh, I'm knocking everything. It goes down into the earth and then it grows back up again. And so recognize that it's sort of like a seasonal thing as far as your life, or maybe even like it has phases. This is going to have phases. You're not going to be full on frolicking all the time, and you're not going to be full on avoiding the frolic all the time. There are going to be seasons for this. It is going to be a wave for you. So it's going to be, as you carry it forward, since it is right now in a full state of full becoming, it is going to perhaps wane a little bit, but then it's going to come back and you're going to have full frolic once again. You're just going to, because it's so much fun for you. It is basically a lark for you. So just let it be that. Recognize that there are going to be times where it's not going to be as intense, and recognize that there are going to be times where it is going to flow into intensity and you're going to have a lot of fun, as long as you make sure that you're taking care of all of your duties and responsibilities to keep it so that you can just let yourself enjoy this that you're doing. So that is your reading for what is in a state of full becoming for you, for the people who chose the starfish. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the giraffe. So let's move the giraffe over here, and we're going to shuffle the cards from the Forgotten English deck. Every time I do this, I remove the cards that I've read before when we do this. They're really fun readings, so definitely if you enjoyed this, certainly go and please certainly go and look back at the videos on my channel and see if you can find more of them, because there have been a few and they're just such a fun thing. So for the giraffe deck, what do we need to know about this thing that is in a state of full becoming for you? A gander moon. In the 17th to 19th centuries, this was the month of recovery for a woman after she gave birth to a child. A husband who became interested in other women during this period was called a bed swerver or gander mooner, a term referring to the aimless activities of a gander while his mate hatched the eggs. Until recently, gander was also an English slang term for a man who lived apart from his wife. So gander moon is your word. It's like something that you have brought into full completion has meant that there may be somebody in your life who feels like you have been neglecting them and it started to turn their eyes on other means of entertainment than you, which is not nice. But it's like it may not even be a romantic thing. It could be something where, you know, your friends that you were really, really close with and you sort of disappeared to bring this thing that you were working on to full completion. And then you come back and your friends are like hanging out with other people, you know, and that's just never nice. It's like one of the most unpleasant things about life. And so I'm really, really sorry about that. Possibly, however, it could be you, but given that these are readings about things that you have brought to completion in your life, that are in a state of full completeness, this seems to indicate that there may be somebody around you that has sort of that have wandering eyes. What's the other word? Bed swerver. That's terrible. I am so sorry. Let me get some runes down and see if we can get some clarity on this. You know, I know how it is in terms of, well, not with humans, thankfully, but well, not just in terms of like that kind of relationship thing, but I've seen it where like I'll disappear to complete a thing I'm working on, and then I come back and it's like, where is everybody? Or somebody who I was working really closely with is suddenly working with somebody else, and it's just kind of like, not comfortable. That was years ago. Don't worry about it. I'm okay. So your central issue here with the maple runes is we have Sovilo. Sovilo is the sun. The sun is, we've just had the solstice. So if you're in the northern hemisphere, we had the summer solstice. It was like the power of the sun. It's the illuminator of darkness. It's the vanquisher of darkness. And it's also the source energy. So you have been basically really tapped into your source energy. What is nourishing you? What is always giving you energy? And before this, you actually had, we have Algiz, which is the rune of protection and support. It's the elk, otherwise known as the moose. It is basically, you felt like you had people around you, and this is all really good. Given the card, though, this is where you sort of left to work on this, and then that's sort of where we're leading to. So here you are now. You were in a state of, you know, great energizedness because of what you were working on and what you've brought to full completion. What is going to help you is just, you know, your life is now feeling very, very rich. You feel very, very enriched. You feel very of worth. Your life feels of great worth. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth. It's the cattle. So it has to do with the wealth that you tend. So whatever you've taken care of very actively is what is enriching your life. And it's this thing, I think, that you just brought to full completion, that you have in your life reached a state of full completion with. This is a bit, hang on a second. I mean, there's also the read on this, which is in the first paragraph, where it's talking about the month of recovery for a woman after she gave birth to the child. Which is the gander moon. But given the other meanings of this, so you're sort of in that glow of having just brought something to full completion. But there is the other thing where if somebody in your life has sort of turned out of boredom elsewhere. And then they're sort of looking at other things while you're having this glow. That's not very nice, and that may be what you have to deal with at this point, and unfortunately it's yucky. Just bring yourself up to the point where you're feeling that your life is very rich right now. You feel very energized. You feel very much of worth. So you know your worth at this point. So if any of this is going on, that's sort of their loss, and that's not very nice of them. What isn't helping is we have Pertho, and Pertho's the rune of the lot box that has to do with surprises and fate. The surprises it has to do with are things that have always been there. So it's the kind of thing where if this has come up and it's been a surprise for you, you're going to look back and you're going to see the signs. So you're sort of worried about that. Maybe this is just a worry that the people that you left behind to work on this thing won't be there for you. Because it could just be that, this whatever lands in the lower line is what isn't helping, but it's a positive rune in the lower line, so it's a surprise. You may just be worried about this happening. This may not actually be happening. It's horrible if it did, and if it is, but it's also a horrible thing to even think about. So maybe it isn't happening, maybe it didn't happen, but you're worried about it. If you are worried about it, bring yourself back up to where you know your worth. You can feel your worth very strongly because you have the proof of what you've just brought to completion. So, let yourself feel that. Let yourself feel that sense of worth and that sense of your life being rich. What this is going to lead you to, ultimately, whether or not this actually happened or whether this is a worry, is we have Othala reversed. So Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. It's reversed and it's on the path line. So I'm going to read this a few ways. One, this is going to allow you to let go of things that no longer serve you. Maybe there's been something that you've sort of kept sort of with you, but it wasn't helping you and it was in fact dragging you down. So it's okay to let that go, and you will feel less weighted and less worried and less dragged down as you move forward. Another thing that this is the ability to step outside of your comfort zone. So you're sort of leaving a state of stagnation and you're sort of stepping out into like somewhere outside of your comfort zone because you do feel so energized and because you do feel your worth. You know what you are worth. And you can carry that forward. You can just continue to carry that forward. But you are, by the end of this period of time where you've brought something to full completion, you have this full energy and you have this full sense of your worth. You can now step forward and you don't need some of the things that were holding you back, that weren't serving you. And you can let go of those and leave your comfort zone and sort of move forward into the world. So whether or not there is an actual Gandermooner in your life, or whether this was just something you were afraid of, by the end of this period of time, you're going to feel like, well, even if there is, I don't need them. So ultimately, it comes down to that. It comes down to you are able to nourish yourself. You are able to keep yourself energized. And whether or not there's a Gandermooner involved, you can be comforted in the fact that you are of great worth and that you know how to keep yourself energized and nourished. So that, giraffe choosing people, is your reading for things that are in a state of full becoming, thanks to the solstice, which is where the idea came from. Anyway, I wish you all the best for this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the cat. So let's move the cat over here. Nice stripy kitty. And let's shuffle the Forgotten English cards and see if we can find a Forgotten English word that will sum up your situation regarding the thing that you have brought to full completion recently. So let's shuffled and let's cut the deck. And we have strigil or strigil. Let's read and see. Ancient Roman instrument used to scrape perspiration and dirt from an athlete's body after exercise. Okay, collectively, ew. Such hot air baths often took the place of soap and water. Strigil, borrowed from borrowed into English from Old German, was originally derived from Latin strigilis, to touch lightly and to draw together. Its descendant, Old French estrile, referred to a currycomb, which grooms still use to clean horses. The modern astringent, aha, a substance that draws a wound together, was formed from the same Latin root. Okay, so let's read this as strigil or strigil, from which astringent is drawn. So this thing that you've brought to full completion may have been a healing. It may have been something that you were bringing together, whether a healing or not. I'm seeing it as a healing, but it is something that you were able to bring together things that should have been brought together. It was like either a healing or a healing. It was a healing based on bringing like a wound together, but it was also, a healing. You're basically, bringing something together and solidifying it. And I'm just getting these runes down. It's the maple runes. Oh, interesting. How interesting that is that landed there. Oh my. Okay. Either that and or something used to scrape the stuff from an athlete's body after exercise, hot air bath, to touch lightly or to draw together. So mostly this is like something that you've been drawing together, things that you've been pulling together, whether it's something that is involved with a healing or whether you've just been pulling together all these bits. This is what you've brought to full completion recently. Now, your central issue is that you have done it. It has wrapped up. You have completed this thing that you set out to do. The full completion is a completion and you've completed it. We have completed thing is completed, to be meme about it. We have Raida reversed, which is the rune of the journey. It is reversed in the central issue on the path line. So this has to do with wrapping up a journey. This is the completion of a chapter in your life and it's done. You did it. So this has happened and it is done and you've completed it. Leading up to this was something that needed to be done. Which is sort of lends itself to this is like a kind of a healing. We have Nauthies, which is the rune of need. It's not reversed, so it wasn't an emergency, but it was something that needed to be done. It was a need in your life, and you have done it. You've brought it together. You've brought whatever you were bringing together. If it was something that was a healing, you have healed it. If it was something where you were just restoring things to where they needed to be, that's done too. It's been wrapped up. It's all done. What is going to help you at this point is tap into your source energy, get yourself energized or re-energized. We have Sovila, which is the sun. This is the source energy. So whatever it is that energizes you, no matter what, whatever it is that whenever you do it, you're just basically saying, I could do this all day. Do that, whether it's music, creation, dance, walking around in nature, whatever it is that brings you energy, no matter when you do it, do that, because that's what you need to get yourself replenished and restored after completing this task that you were doing and that you've just brought to full completion. What is not going to help is we have Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth. It's the wealth that you tend. Reversed on the main, in the lower line, this has to do with fears about worth. So you're sort of worried about maybe even money. At this point, you maybe have this maybe took a lot of, it may have taken material wealth as well to get through it. So you may be worried about that, but I'm seeing this more as sort of just worries about worth that you maybe even had to do this, or maybe that now that you're finished, you're like, who am I now that I'm finished? This was like my whole life for a while was drawing this together and making sure that I did this, and now it's done. So they're sort of like, okay, now what? Who am I now that I'm not doing this anymore? The important thing right now is for you to replenish. So tap into your source energy, whatever gives this to you. Do that. Bring yourself back into your state of energizedness. And what this is going to lead you to, interestingly, is we have Thurizaz reversed. So I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, Thurizaz is a challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. This is basically always going to be a challenge. But when it's reversed, it feels like it's an impossible challenge. Now, you've just been through a major challenge where you brought all this together, whether it was, again, a healing or just bringing things together that needed to be together because It was a need. You've wrapped this up now, and now you're facing this major challenge. The one read of this that I'm going to give you immediately is you are ready to face any challenge now. You figure, if I could do that, I can do anything. And you're just fully willing to walk up to any of the challenges in your life that seem impossible, because this felt impossible and you did it. So you're ready to march up to that. However, there may also be a read that after this, like now is like that, you're going to feel like that was the easy part, and now what comes next is the hard part. So I'm just drawing another rune about that. If you're the second read of that, where it's like a really hard challenge that you're facing suddenly, watch for what is being revealed, because there's something that was always there that is being revealed to you now at that point. We have Pertho, which is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate, but the surprises that are being revealed are something that was always there. So it's something that you already have the resources in hand to help you get over this wall. So I'm going to leave that there as reassurance that you can get past it, even if you didn't feel like you got through something impossible just to get to this point. Be reassured that you did, and that you can handle anything at this point. So that, cat pin people, is your reading for what you have brought to a state of full becoming, thanks to the solstice, which gave us the idea to do it. So good luck with this. I wish you all the best, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello to all of you who chose the alligator pin. I'm going to move the alligator pin over this way, so it's facing this way. Alligator. And so we're going to take the cards, which are the Forgotten English deck, and we're going to shuffle them, and we're going to try to find a card that is going to represent what it is that you have just brought in your life to a state of full becoming, and then do a reading about that. So let's just shuffle these, and then we're going to cut the deck. Ooh, that one just, it asserted itself. So we have Azel. So let's read. Added to English in the 17th century and corrupted soon afterward in meaning and spelling, this Dutch word originally meant any of several hoofed quadrupeds used for burden bearing, including the ass or donkey. Whimsically at first, the name of this four-legged beast of burden was used to represent the three-legged frame that holds an artist's canvas. About this same time, a well-executed piece of artwork painted on an easel by a woman was referred to as a mistress piece, a companion word to masterpiece. So, I think what you have just brought to a state of full completion is something creative. You have just completed something very creative. It was an act of creation. It was perhaps very artistic. It was an artistic creation. Whether or not it was actually a piece of art or artwork or music or something of the arts, it was something that you did that was very creative in your life, and that you have created it. And it was on an easel. So it was like basically an easel mistress piece. Or it could have to do with like donkeys, which we love. But anyway, I'm really going to see this as something very creative that you were doing in your life that you have brought to a state of full completion. Neat. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just finish putting these runes out. And there's Savilo. Again, Savilo has been in 3 of these readings, which is neat. Ooh, okay. Interesting spread. So our central issue here for this thing that you've just brought to full completion is we have Laguz reversed. Now, Laguz is the rune of the water. It's the flow. So we could see this as creative flow, drawing to a close because it's reversed. We have it's emotion, intuition, and heart, but it is also flow. So you have just brought something to completion, and your flow of, the creative juices has sort of now sort of gone inward again. So you're sort of inward, you're sort of maybe incubating something new. Leading up to this, see, I'm torn as to how to read this, because this does look like you've just brought something to completion that was very creative. But this is Vunyo reversed. So Vunyo is the rune of joy. This may have been something that was linked to some deep inner joy of yours, but it also may have been something that you weren't happy I mean, this is basically reversed on the path line. Maybe you weren't feeling happy about something, and then you said, I'm just going to get creative about this, and I'm going to work on something that is going to make things better. And what this has managed to do is it was like a nice flow for you, something in your life that gave your life some nice flow, but it also opened up some intuition on your part. It also connected you to your heart. Again, this is an internal thing. Like, it's almost like it doesn't matter what this was that you did, only that you did it, and that through doing that internally, you have reactivated some connection with your deep inner joy, with your deep inner heart, and with your emotions and with your intuition. So, or you have reached a point where you're like, I got to do this, but I haven't been feeling happy about it, and also my flow has died down. Maybe you're in the middle of creating something which is sort of in a state of full completion. You want to keep doing that, but you feel like your stores are depleted. So what is going to help you is tap into your source energy. We have Sovilo, the sun. The sun has to do with source energy. It does have to do with, vanquisher of darkness and illuminator of darkness, great illuminator, etc. But it does have to do with your source energy. So this is whatever it is that no matter when you tap into it, gives you energy. So it could be go for a walk in nature, or create something, or listen to music, or whatever it is that no matter when you do it, it nourishes you. You feel like you could do it all day, that kind of thing. That's what you need to turn to. Even if maybe you haven't been doing that because you've been focused so hard on creating this thing. But if you're not doing that, then you're not going to have the energy to go on with it. So you need to have that. So definitely tap into that if you haven't already, but that's definitely what's going to help you whether or not you've tapped into it. So if you haven't, do it. If you have, keep doing that. So what isn't going to help you is you're feeling like your flow has diminished and you are worried that this is a challenge now, that this is something that it's hard. It's gotten hard to do. So it's like, if you've been writing, and then suddenly the words aren't coming, you're sitting and looking at the blank page or blank Word document, and you're just looking at, like Neil Gaiman says, you'll type the, and then half an hour later, you'll back out over the and type an, that kind of thing. But when it's like that, where it becomes a challenge, and you might feel like you're overwhelmed with the challenge, and you might feel like it's not going to get better. All you have to do is bring yourself back up to what worked for you before. Like Marjorie, the trash heap says, do the thing you've always done before. Because you're going to look at what you're doing and you're like, well, what are you not doing that you always did before when you were being creative? Do that, because if you haven't been doing it, that's why the creativity is not flowing. So if you work with words, maybe watch something that read something, or watch something that has a lot of richness of vocabulary. Like, for example, if you're into Shakespeare, watch some Shakespeare, or just watch something where it's very well written, or read something very well written, and that'll help you replenish your word stores. If this is music, then listen to music that inspires you, or something that is new that you haven't heard before that is going to replenish you. So that kind of thing. What this is going to lead you to is we have Othala reversed. So Othala is the rune of the home and the homeland. I'm going to read this a couple of ways. First of all, this is going to allow you to let go of things that no longer serve you, because maybe there are things that you've been sort of dragging with you that are in fact interfering with the flow that you want to have going while you're creating this. So if you don't need to have them, let them go. Also, this is going to allow you to step outside of your comfort zone, because sometimes when we're creating, we get to the end of our comfort zone and then we're like, no, I can't go forward with this. But you gotta, because the creativity leads you there. So you may need some bolstering and some replenishing before you can take those steps forward outside of your comfort zone where you haven't been yet with this creative thing that's going to allow it to continue to become. So that, people who chose the alligator pin, is your reading about the things that you have in your life that are in a state of full becoming, which was inspired by the solstice, which gave me the idea. So I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.